Before the iPhone ruled the world, before Samsung flooded the market, there was a little rubber-cased phone that quietly became the most sold mobile ever. The Nokia 1100 didn't have a camera, didn't have internet, and yet it connected more people than any smartphone in history. This is the story of the phone that outsold them all. Released in 2003, the Nokia 1100 was never meant to be flashy. It was built for one purpose: to be affordable, durable, and reliable. While Motorola was showing off the Razr, and Sony Ericsson was adding music players to their phones, Nokia focused on something simpler, giving billions of people their very first mobile phone. The early 2000s were a turning point in mobile history. In wealthy markets, phones were becoming fashion statements. Motorola's Razr was thin and shiny. BlackBerry was rising as the business tool of choice. But in much of the world, millions of people still didn't own a phone at all. Nokia saw this gap and aimed directly at it. The Nokia 1100 launched in 2003 at a price of around $100. It wasn't competing with luxury models. It was competing with no phone at all. And that strategy worked. By targeting emerging markets like India, Africa, and Latin America, Nokia made mobile communication accessible to the masses. The design was simple but brilliant. A non-slip rubber casing made it tough to break. A dust-proof keypad meant it could survive in harsh environments. And the battery? Legendary. A single charge could last up to a week. In a world where smartphones today struggle to last a day, the Nokia 1100 was a marathon runner. Its features were basic: calls, text messages, a flashlight, a calculator, and the iconic snake game. No camera, no color screen, no internet. But that was the point. It was a phone that worked every time and everywhere. The Nokia 1100 became the first phone for millions of people. Farmers used it to check prices, shopkeepers used it to stay in touch with suppliers, students used it to connect with friends. It wasn't just a gadget, it was a lifeline for many, especially in developing countries. By focusing on reliability and affordability, Nokia built trust. In villages, towns, and cities across the globe, the 1100 became a symbol of connection. It was the phone that didn't care if you were rich or poor, urban or rural. It simply worked. By the time production ended in 2009, the Nokia had sold over 250 million units, a staggering number. To put it in perspective, Apple's best-selling iPhone, the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, sold around 220 million units. Samsung's best-selling Galaxy model, the S4, sold about 80 million. Even Motorola's iconic Razr sold only around 130 million. The Nokia 1100 beat them all. And it wasn't alone. Its sibling, the Nokia 1110, sold another 250 million units. Together, these two phones crossed 500 million sales, a record no smartphone generation has ever touched. The Nokia 1100 wasn't smart, but it was unstoppable. It proved that simplicity, durability, and affordability could matter more than flashy features. It democratized mobile communication and gave billions their first taste of connection. Today, smartphones dominate headlines, but none have beaten the humble 1100's record. It remains the most sold phone ever, a reminder that sometimes the most powerful technology is the one that simply works. The Nokia 1100 didn't change the future of phones, it changed the world by putting one in everyone's hand.